Now, let's talk about the second step of the sales process, or the road to the sale, whatever you want to call it, which is what I call the introduction. Okay? Now, whether you call it a sales process, the road to the sale, or the anatomy of a sale, it's the same thing. Don't try to make it harder than it is. The first thing you need to understand about the whole game is that sales is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you'll have to do business. The more hands you shake, the more money you make. That's a fact. The key to being truly successful at sales is the ability to make friends quickly. You want to meet as many people as you can every single day. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to meet 5 new people every single day. This step is critical to having a good shot at doing the next one correctly. If you can get the introduction right, you're halfway home. The introduction is simply to introduce yourself and make a friend so you can gather information that can and will tell you exactly what the prospect likes, wants, and needs, as well as their pain points. That's the whole point of this step, to make a friend and gather some information. It's that simple. We want to introduce ourselves and make a friend. Does that sound hard to do? There's really nothing to it unless you have anxiety of meeting new people, or you really have no idea what to say to someone when you first meet them. Then I guess it could be a little nerve-wracking. But don't focus too hard on what to say or how you say it. Focus on saying what you feel is best to get the job done, which is to introduce yourself, find out their name, and start to make a friend. That's it. The better you do it, the easier it is to do the next step, which will be to gather intel. Pros know exactly what the introduction step is for, and they have all the tools to get the job done, which is why they have no problems. Be sincere with your customer, because sincerity is felt. Keep in mind, more than half the people you talk to will be ready and willing to talk to you. They're looking for information, but by this time, they've done a lot of research and gathered a whole lot of information. So remember that when you start talking to them, A, they want to talk to you, and B, they probably know as much or more about the product or service than you do anyway. So relax and just be sincere. Don't try to be a know-it-all, and don't worry about being nervous. There's no reason to be. Amateurs that get nervous or have anxiety meeting new people are usually that way because they have no confidence in themselves. They don't know what to say, and they fear looking stupid. There's no valid reason to feel this way. First, if you always do the right thing and put ethics and integrity first, you'll have confidence, because that's what builds self-confidence. Second, all you need to say is, "Hi, my name is Brad, and yours is?" See, you don't want any slick one-liners or cute little openings. Just a simple, confident introduction is what's best. Now, usually they'll tell you what their name is and the conversation can begin. But remember, whenever someone gives you their name, you want to use it a couple of times right off the bat if you can. It'll help you remember their name. Obviously, if you're in person, you should shake their hand and look them in the eye and all that common courtesy etiquette stuff that I hope you've learned or heard about from someone before, like your parents or something. Firm handshake and all, direct eye contact, you know what I mean, right? By the way, I can talk about the basic manners and protocols of human interaction, but I'm going to assume we're past the basics. If you really want to learn sales from such a basic level, you shouldn't be in a master class. You should go get a job at a sales organization and just get your feet wet. You'll learn a lot that way, and you might earn a little extra money. But listen, give firm handshakes. Make solid eye contact with people. Don't look shady. And if you're on a phone, smile even though they can't see you, because they can still feel it. It's true, give it a try. But the step of the introduction could literally take 2 straight weeks if I tried to explain everything there is and talk about the several million variations of the same thing. So let me cover the bottom line. When you approach a prospect or customer, be genuine. Be genuinely interested in helping them. Don't be shy. You have no reason to be shy. Walk up proudly and confidently and introduce yourself. "Hi, my name's Brad, and what's yours?" It doesn't matter what they say back, the conversation will generally begin. You always want to try and get their name and then use it a few times. Hi, my name's Brad. What's yours? Mr. and Mrs. Customer, it's great to meet you. What brought you in? Or whatever you want or need to start asking them. Whatever seems appropriate based on the situation and circumstances. But the bottom line is you just want to walk up, introduce yourself, get their name, and start to make a friend. I mean, the introduction step ends almost as fast as it begins. Then you start to gather intel automatically by having a quick conversation, which is technically already the third step. But all of the steps seem to blend together if you're doing them right. It's like a professional dancer. If you know the steps, you know the steps. If you don't, you don't. One, you look good, and the other makes you look like you're an idiot and need to practice. As simple as that. The point of the intro is simply to get the prospect to like you. If they like you, they'll open up a little bit. You really just want to be able to have a quick conversation and get to know them. If you can find common ground and get some rapport going, even better. If you ask the right questions and listen to the answers, a prospect will always tell you exactly how to sell them on whatever it is you're selling. You just have to know to ask good questions. If I can just get you to be intentional about doing each step, you're going to see miracles happen. We're going to discuss building relationships in another part of this masterclass, but the introduction step is really and truly just to open a relationship. You want to be really good at starting relationships. You want to be a pro at initiating conversations because that's how all good relationships begin, right? We meet somebody and start talking to them a little bit. Then we find out they're funny as hell or they like the same team we do. Next thing you know, you're hanging out like besties at a bar mitzvah. If you could just realize that there's zero bad things that can happen from a good introduction, you'll be in good shape. And if you want to make a good introduction, then do everything I've said so far and you'll nail it. Just walk up, confident as hell, 100% certain of who you are and how you can help this person, and introduce yourself. That's it. Be genuinely interested in finding out how you can help them and be truly interested in making friends and hopefully a lifelong customer. If you do that, trust me, the way you say it and what you say is not really as relevant. What you say, how you say it, it doesn't really matter when you're going in like a pro. The prospects don't stand a chance when you know what you're doing. They literally melt like putty in your hands. But now comes the hard part. Now you need to actively listen. When you're done executing the perfect introduction, now you'll begin the third step, which is the step where we gather intel by having an intelligent conversation, basically. But keep in mind, there's many things that can happen during a simple introduction that you need to be aware of and how to handle them when they do. Notice I said when, because they will happen. And you want to be prepared and capable of handling each one. The first thing to consider is that the prospects probably have their defenses up. Salespeople have a reputation of being ruthless and shady because a lot of them are ruthless and shady, unprofessional, hammers, hard sell, high pressure. And the prospects have no idea that you're one of the good ones. That's why a great introduction is key. They'll begin to lower their guard when they realize you're just introducing yourself and you have no intention of high pressuring them. You're just there to help. Be aware that they may have been shopping around and have had to deal with other amateurs or poorly trained salespeople and were likely mistreated, run over, and mishandled. So be empathetic and don't get so offended if they cop a little attitude at first. They've been beat up all day. They don't know you're one of the good ones. Give them a chance to meet you and see that you are. I wish I could explain every detail of every sale and every introduction, but it totally depends on what you're selling, whether you're in person or online. The list is way too long. We could be on this subject for months, so I just need to talk about the general fundamentals and keys and hope you can find how to apply them to your specific case. Now, you can also join the Facebook group where we can talk about specifics for days. For now, Just know that a great introduction leads to a friendship and hopefully a sale. A key best practice is to smile and have fun. I don't care if you have so many teeth missing it looks like your tongue's in jail. You need to smile and introduce yourself with enthusiasm and be genuinely interested in helping them. If you go into every introduction the way we've discussed so far, you'll be golden. But now, let's talk a little bit about the next step